Hello and a very good welcome to ScrewyLoops. Tonight we'll be living the American dream as we go through 7 of my most anticipated roller coasters from across the Atlantic Ocean. America is home to some of the biggest and bestest roller coasters in the entire world, and because of that I had a bloody hard time trying to choose which ones to include in this video. For variety's sake I've made a few rules. As you know me, I could easily fill this list with RMCs and Cedar Point, but that's no fun now, is it? So there will only be one roller coaster per park and per ride type, as well as no coasters from Florida, simply because I've already been there. Oh, and they've also got to be open too, of course. So with that, you're watching ScrewyLoops, and this is my 7 bucket list roller coasters in North America. Starting this off somewhat controversially, I suppose, is Maverick at Cedar Point. Yep, not Steel Vengeance. Maverick. There's no major reason why I chose Maverick over everything else at Cedar Point. I just find it that little bit more intriguing, and I think that's because it's one of the first ever roller coasters that I've followed the construction through from start to finish. I've never seen anything like it. So Maverick was the very first Intamin Blitz coaster, which opened back in 2007. It was a surprising change from the Towering Goliaths which opened previously at Cedar Point, with a bigger focus on low to the ground insanity. This thing looks like it packs a punch. Along its 4,450 feet of track, you dive 95 degrees, propel to speeds of 70 miles per hour, flip upside down, as well as black out 2 or 3 times maybe for a bit of a lightweight. Maverick is just pure, unrelenting force, and ever since I did Taron in Phantasialand, it sparked my interest even more. Oh, and did you know, this thing was also meant to have a barrel roll, but due to various concerns it had to be removed. Sounds pretty intense, doesn't it? Now this is what I call a B&M invert. Alpengeist looks amazing, both aesthetically and in terms of its design. This coaster looks right up my street, and to think this opened back in 1997 simply blows my mind. The year of Final Fantasy VII, Pokemon Red, and the first ever Harry Potter publication ever. Feeling old yet? This classic rises to incredible heights of 195 feet, speeds of 76 miles per hour, and packs in a whopping 6 inversions. But what makes Alpengeist stand out is this crazy looking twisted drop, unique layout and surrounding scenery. Aside from being absolutely enormous, this first drop does a complete 240 on itself. You could almost class it as a very steep helix. The rest of the layout consists of some of the largest inversions within its class, but strays away slightly from your traditional kind of layout. And then there's the scenery. Busch Gardens Williamsburg's densely forested locale makes Alpengeist look stunning. It reminds me of a god-sized nemesis in the way it interacts with the surrounding terrain. How could I not love this coaster? All hail Rocky Mountain Construction. These guys have been taking the world by storm with their vast selection of hybrid coasters, and even more recently Raptor tracks. And the one American coaster from RMC that really stands out for me is Lightning Rod in Dollywood. If you didn't know, Dollywood is basically Disneyland, but replaced Mickey Mouse with Dolly Parton. What a way to make a living. What makes Lightning Rod so interesting over the other RMCs is its lift hill. Instead of crawling your way to the top, you are propelled from 0 to 45 miles per hour by an LSM launch. After this, you're treated to a nice pop of airtime before disappearing into the valley below. The biggest potential highlight moment for me has to be the quadruple down towards the end of the layout. It looks absolutely nuts. Standard double downs are infamous for packing stacks of airtime, so I couldn't even begin to imagine how much this section would deliver. One day I will get to Dollywood to experience this fantastic coaster, but until then I'll have to keep grinding my 9-to-5 job and make myself a living. America is home to a plethora of superhero themed roller coasters. From Batman the Ride to Batman the Ride, Six Flags can't get enough of their DC IPs. It can get a little excessive. Amongst the identity crisis, there is one superhero which truly stands out from the League of Roller Coaster Justice, and that one is it a bird? Is it a plane? No fools, it's Six Flags New England's Superman the Ride. Standing at a height of 208 feet and featuring a 221 foot drop, This Intamin hypercoaster is consistently ranked amongst the best in the world, and even winning first in 2003's Golden Tickets Awards. Superman flies alongside the Connecticut River in style, performing a heroic display of ejector-infused airtime moments and a Michelin star spaghetti bowl helix, which is sure to get the blood pumping. Superman looks like an excellent example of Intamin at their best, and that's why it's smashed straight into my list. I don't think I've ever seen a roller coaster do its name justice as much as the Voyage at Holiday World theme park. Imagine going on Big Dipper at Blackpool Pleasure Beach and ending up in southern Afghanistan. That's the kind of scale we're talking about here. This out and back hybrid coaster built by Gravity Group spans a massive 6,442 feet, lasting a lengthy 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And in that 2 minutes and 45 seconds, you are taken high up into the sky, 159 feet to be exact, and directly into the unknown. Don't you start, Elsa. Hitting speeds of 67 miles per hour, the Voyage takes you on an airtime-filled adventure through deep forests, dark tunnels, and waterfalls of hybrid steel support. If there ever is a perfect wooden coaster design, it would be this coaster. The Voyage is littered with defining airtime moments and a layout which goes on for days, and by the looks of it, one that never lets up. One day, Voyage, one day. Another coaster which certainly appears to live up to its name is Intimidator 305, because it's very intimidating and it goes 305 feet. And drops into a ground-hugging helix at 90 miles per hour. People go on this just to black out for fun, you crazy people. Seriously though, this thing was so intense that they had to redesign a lot of the initial bank turn and first airtime hell to stop people's heads exploding. Okay, that's a bit over dramatic, but you can kinda get the gist. This Intamin Giga coaster is widely regarded as the most intense in the world, and it's easy to see why. Instead of your typical drawn-out, airtime obsessive gigas, this one does things a little bit differently. It has a stronger focus on extreme forces and breakneck transitions, and because of this, it spends a lot of time very low to the ground. It does have a fair share of airtime moments, but its main goal is to push your body to the limit, and that is why Intimidator 305 is in my bucket list. It's a testament of how much can I take before it knocks me unconscious, a bit like knocking back 2 pints of whiskey and seeing if you make it out alive. See you soon, King's Dominion. Ah, Steel Curtain, you were very misunderstood by us British folk with a lack of American sporting knowledge. This coaster is in fact themed to the American football team Pittsburgh Steelers, and the entire area it's situated in is themed to it also. Located in Kennywood, Pennsylvania, Steel Curtain is their latest addition and definitely a force to be reckoned with. This S&S hypercoaster climbs to heights of 220 feet, plummets at speeds of 75 miles per hour and somersaults through a total of 8 or 9 inversions, depending on if you class the banana roll as 1 or 2. The first half is all about verticality. Most of the track here hugs onto a central support structure, showing off some enormously impressive inversions, whereas the second half veers off into a much more twisted, low to the ground layout. The reason why it sits on my bucket list is simply because it looks like an absolute blast. Steel Curtain seems like a load of fun, and there's not many traditional looping coasters which reach heights like this. I honestly think if Schwarzkopf was still building coasters today, they would look a lot like this. Hey guys, many thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. What are your bucket list coasters in America? Comment below, I'd love to know. Recently I asked you all to share your best theme park photos, and there's been some stunning submissions, but I've got to say my favourite was this. Massive shout out to Theme Park LB. This photo of the Smiler really caught my eye, and the angle you've got on this is fantastic. So big shout out to you, and make sure to go check their Instagram out for more pics like that. I also want to give a shout out to Yoshi Plays Galactic Dan, Ember and William101 on YouTube for the continuing support. Thanks so much guys. If you enjoyed this video then please hit that like button, smash subscribe for more content like this, and give the bell a flick to keep all up to date. Top left is the latest video, bottom left is a random one, and make sure to hit that button over on the right for the ride of your lives. You've been watching ScrewyLoops, try a bit.